forget. There we go. We're recording. So this is going to be just a general discussion this morning. I have just a bunch of stuff that I'm working on and stuff that's on my mind that I want to make sure you guys are aware of. And I want to get your thoughts and feedback, working on a lot of plans for the upcoming year in 2021. And just want to let you in on some of those plans, because I always let you guys have first dibs on everything. And I like to get you guys in the loop on everything so you know what's going on. And I also like to get your feedback. I also want to run an idea by you and get your thoughts on it and see if it's something you guys would like to do. And then just a couple of reminders. Also, just a quick reminder as well, if you haven't seen it yet, we have moved open office to Mondays, which is today. So open office, some people still don't really understand what open office is. So just a real quick on that one. Open office is basically a time where I just log into Zoom, same Zoom number that I always use. And I just log into Zoom and I make myself available for anybody who has questions, needs help, wants to bounce ideas off of me. So we've rotated this I've tried different times, different days to try to find out when is the best time to make this available to everybody. And we talked about it last week, and a lot of people are finding it challenging to commit time to these Zooms on more than just one day a week. So we're moving open office to Monday morning. So we do this Monday morning game changers every Monday morning. This is some of the best content that I want to put out to you guys every single week. And then we're going to do open office directly following Monday morning game changers. So the open office time is not something that you have to stay for. It's something that if you want to be able to leverage my time, bounce ideas off of me and the group, it's just a great time to do that. If you need to just get in here, get your game changers content and roll, you can do that as well. A lot of times what happens with open office, some people will just bounce in, ask me a couple questions, we'll look at some stuff, and then they'll leave. Other people come into open office just to hang out, because they like to just listen and see what everybody else has got going on. And sometimes listen to other people's dialogue can be helpful with what you're working on. So there's no really rules to open office. Really all it is I just hang out on Zoom for an hour and I'm available to you. What I like about doing it on Mondays is because we usually get a good group in here on Monday morning for game changers. And there's a lot of power in the overall discussion for all of us, because there's a lot of brilliant minds in this room, not just mine. And so if I can leverage the group, and you can bring a question not only to me but to everybody, there's just a lot of power in that. So I really want to mold the open office time really into kind of a mastermind conversation. So that's the idea and the thought behind it. So we're starting that today. So as soon as I get done with my notes for you this morning, we're going to go right into open office. And what I challenge everybody to do with open office is to try to come to open office with at least one question for me. Just anything I can help with. That's my mission. That's why you pay me, is to help you. So I can't help you if I don't know what you need help with. So if you can come to open office with at least one question, that I can answer that for you, get you some help, and then our whole group can get you some feedback on that as well. So that's thoughts on open office. Questions on that? Make sense? All right, everybody's good. I love it. All right, so let's talk about some notes and things for what are upcoming. Also, just FYI too, I am watching the chat stream. So if you guys want to drop any questions or you have anything you want to say in the chat stream, I am keeping an eye on that as well. And we'll watch that in case you guys have something. Good morning, Tammy. Thanks for coming in. Heather, good morning. Kat, good morning. Jackie, good morning.
For a while, I don't know what happened to it was something glitchy.
Zoom's been funky today. It's Monday and all the kids are on. Yeah, it's the waiting room thing. It's what drives me crazy, because the waiting room, you have to deactivate it once you get in. And yeah, anyway, here we are. We're glad to see you, Tammy.
Yeah, I actually logged in early and I couldn't get in.
It's Zoom. So we're here. We made it. We're all hanging out. So a couple of quick announcements. First of which is we had a fall. Some of you guys know this. Some of you guys don't. We had a fall mastermind retreat planned for this fall in October, which we had to postpone until next spring due to COVID. It wasn't in regards to my state or the house we were renting, but more so the attendees that were coming. There was just a lot of people that were coming were affected by different things and we're not going to be able to make the trip. So in case you don't know this, we had a pretty spectacular house reserved for this fall, and we were planning this for the fall and the fall color tour season. And you guys can check this out if you want to look at it. But if you go to justincaptainpro.com/mastermind, it'll show you the details. But this is the house that we're staying at for this particular retreat. This is I think a 12,000 square foot mansion, if I recall. This is going to be in Northern Michigan. We have rescheduled this for spring of next year, and it's going to be in May. So along with that, I've had a couple people that have had to bow out due to the dates and just other circumstances going on with it. So this was sold out last year, and I now currently have 3 open rooms for this. So I wanted to tee this up to our group here first in case anybody's interested in this. So the dates that we're going to be doing this is going to be May 3rd through May 7th. And it's 5 days. It's going to be a Monday through Friday. And basically what happens at these mastermind retreats, y'all, is this is a small group. This will be a total of 9 people overall. And spouses can be included if desired. But this is going to be basically what happens at these mastermind retreats is I take a small group and we work intimately together on your business for a period of 5 days. Everybody gets one-on-one time with me. We have group mastermind time. It's just, it's really a powerful experience. We did a larger group retreat last fall in September. And then I did a small group retreat in Phoenix earlier this year. And it was bomb. It was just absolutely incredible. So I'm planning these retreats every single year. So this fall retreat, I've got a couple rooms available. If you look at this website, I have to update the website because everything that you're gonna see on this website is gonna be representative of this being in October. But so I have to update all the dates and everything on this. But you can go through here and you can see all the rooms that are in here. Every one of them is gonna say reserved. So I got to go in here and clear the ones that are not reserved. But your average investment to come to this thing is going to range anywhere from $3,000. Some of them are $2,500. That depends on the room. But all I need right now to claim these is the deposits. So the deposits range from $500 to $750, depending on what it is. And then also there is a bunk room in this particular house, which looks like this, and it has 4 beds in it, a large living room, and 2 of these beds are reserved with 2 ladies. So if there was 2 ladies that wanted to get a slightly lower fee and a lower deposit, this room could take 2 more ladies if desired. So just FYI on that one, want to let you guys know that retreat has shifted. So if there's anybody, because there was a couple people that wanted to go this fall that couldn't because of the dates. So now that we moved out to the spring, that's open and available. And if anybody's interested in claiming one of those, just reach out to me and say, Justin, I'm thinking about it. Can you let me know what rooms are available? And I'll have Courtney get you that information so you can check that out. The second one that's on my mind is the fall retreat for next year. So I am planning a fall retreat for 2021. And one of the things that I wanted to do for my next retreat was I wanted to have a special guest spend some time with us. So does anybody know who Greg Walker is? Greg Walker, otherwise known as the Big Dreamer. Some of you guys do. Celia does. So let me just give you a little background on Greg. So Greg is he's a businessman, very successful businessman. He started his business in franchising, basically. Keith, you know who Greg Walker is, I believe, don't you? Yeah. So Greg grew up pretty rough conditions, pretty rough life. He got nicknamed the Big Dreamer because he was, I think, the youngest of 13 kids. And all of his brother, he always had big dreams, big ideas, big goals, and all of his other siblings were all losers, basically. And they all told him that he was never going to amount to anything in his life, so they nicknamed him the Big Dreamer, and that was kind of his make fun of him nickname. His whole life was the Big Dreamer. Well, out of 13 kids, all 12 of his older siblings ended up in prison by the time they're in their mid-20s. And when Greg was in high school, I think it was when he was a freshman in high school. He went into he got called into his principal's office at school. His principal sat him down and he said, Greg, he's like, I'm just going to tell you right now, I just encourage you just to quit, throw in the towel. I just want you to drop out of school. This is as a freshman in high school. And Greg said, well, why? He's like, because you're never going to amount to anything. He's like, every single member of your family I've ever seen has dropped out and ended up in prison. He's like, and you're on your way there. He's like, so you might as well just get that life started for yourself. And Greg, of course, he's, I think 15, maybe. Okay. So he walked out of the office kind of hanging his head. And as he was walking out, there was a teacher that was just amazing. I don't know the story behind this teacher in detail, but this teacher coming down the hallway saw him. She's like, Greg, what's going on? And he's like, oh, nothing. And she's like, no, I can see you're upset. What's up? And he's like, well, the principal just told me I probably ought to drop out because no one from my family's ever amounted to anything. And I'm probably not going to either. And he's like, so I'm kind of thinking maybe I should just drop out. And she's all like, if you're willing to do the work, I'm willing to help you. And so she took him under his wing and mentored him all the way through high school. And he's the first person in his family to graduate and actually get a diploma. So he gets into, getting started in his business, and he wrestled through different things, but he ended up going to work at Subway. And he's a very much a big idea person. For those guys that know him, he's very much a big idea person. He's very motivated, very inspiring when he talks, but he's very rough around the edges. He's just a real dude. And so he goes to work at Subway, and in a short time he's working at Subway, he got promoted to be like a team leader, and then he ended up given the manager role of the Subway. And he did so well in the manager role of a Subway. The Subway that he was managing became one of the top performing Subways in his region. So he gets called in for her review with the owner of the franchise to review him as the manager. He gets come in, and he's thinking he's going to get a raise, and he's going to get this great review. And he sat down with the owner of the franchise, and the franchise, he said, "Greg, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to let you go." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I don't understand. Like, I'm killing it. The business is killing it. I'm doing everything you've asked me to." And he's like, "Greg, I got to let you go." He's like, "Because you're not cut out to be a manager. You need to own your own franchise." And he's like, "And I have a feeling if I don't let you go, that you're going to stay here forever." And he's like, "So I'm going to let you go." And he's like, "And I'm going to put up the investment to get you your first franchise, and I'm going to teach you how to run it." And he got him his first franchise and got him started. And he's like, "Unfortunately, the only one that we can get our hands on right now is the lowest performing, worst, ugliest Subway in the area." He's like, "But it's a starting point, and I'm going to hook you up with this," and got him started. So he gave him a loan and got him started with his first franchise. And so Greg takes over this dump. And because he's an idea man, he just took this thing over, and he just tried some stuff that had never been done before. And he went doing all kinds of crazy marketing tactics. And anyway, long story short, he became a highly successful Subway franchisee. I can't tell you the number of franchises that he owns now, but he's got several Subways, and then he bought into, I think it's Del Taco, and he owns several Del Tacos all across the country. So he's got hundreds of franchises, and he's taught his kids and everybody to franchise. He's a very successful franchisor. So this has been his life in business, very successful in business. Well, he decided just a few years ago to write a book. And so he wrote a book called Dream to Grow Rich. And as he was writing this book, because of his connections, somehow his book landed on Les Brown's desk. And Les Brown read through the book, and Les Brown was so impressed with the book. Les Brown reached out to him and told him that he wanted to write the foreword to the book. And so Les Brown wrote him a foreword to the book and helped him in the process. And Greg's like, "Well, I'd like to get this published, but I don't know how." And Les is like, "I'm going to walk you through the process. And it's not that hard." So Les Brown and Les Brown's team taught Greg how to actually publish a book, not to self-publish a book, but actually publish it and get it on the shelf in Barnes & Noble and all the places, right? And get book signing deals and all the things. And so he's not an author. He never had any formal training in being an author. He just told his story, wrote his book, and connected to the right person and got it out there. So then Les Brown became his personal mentor after they got his book published. Now he's got his book published. It became a New York Times bestseller, and it's hit top sellers lists across the board. So he accomplished that. And Greg's like, "Have you ever," or Les Brown said, "Have you ever thought about speaking?" And he's like, "Oh, no, I couldn't speak. I mean, look at me." Because he's just a regular guy. And he's like, "I want you to join Toastmasters, and I think you ought to be a speaker." And Greg's like, "What's Toastmasters?" Didn't even know what it was. He's like, it's a place, it's a group that teaches you how to speak. It coaches your speaking ability. He's like, "I think you should do it." And Greg's like, "All right." So he joined his local Toastmasters club in Columbus, Ohio. I can't tell you how long he was with them, but he was with them for I think a few months, just learning the process. And the leader of the Toastmasters club told him, I think you ought to register to do this local competition where they bring in locals and they do a speech, and then they give an award to the best speaker." And he's like, "All right, I'll go do it." So he went and joined the local competition, and he won first place. And so they're like, so the person that sets that thing up is like, "I think you ought to do a district competition where you speak against some of the other districts and just see how you rate." So this is a few months later down the road. He's like, "All right, cool." So he goes and applies to that. He goes and does his talk, and he gets first place at the district competition, beats everybody. And so the people, again, they're like, "Well, every winner of a district needs to apply to the regional competition. You should apply to the regional one." He's like, "All right." So he goes and applies, wins the regional one, first place. And so like, "You need to get into the divisional one." So then he goes to the divisional one, wins first place. This is all happening over the course of months, like within a year and a half, right? He just keeps on going, and he keeps on winning. And so he goes to I think it was divisional and wins divisional, and then whoever wins the divisional goes to the what's the whole country? I guess I guess national. Thank you. He goes to national. So he goes to the national one, gets invited to go to national, and I remember him telling me the story because I've been connected to Greg for a while. I remember him telling me, Justin, I'm headed off to the national Toastmasters competition. I'm freaking out, and I'm like, you got it, dude. I'm like, look what I said. What got you here is being you, man. I'm like, you're not anything other than you. You're Greg Walker. And it's so funny because he's so raw and he's just so himself. Every single speaking competition he goes to, he goes in jeans, wears a suit jacket. He wears a baseball cap that says the Big Dreamer on it. And he wears tennis shoes, red tennis shoes that match his hat. He looks terrible on stage, but he rocks it. Right. That's just who he is. And so I remember him telling me the story. He went to the national speaking competition, and they had all these speakers lined up in the hallway, to go out and give their talk. And while he's in there, he's lined up with all these guys, and there's Harvard graduates, lawyers, politicians, all these, hub-dub 5-piece suits, just looking like they just walked out of Wall Street. And there's Greg in his ball cap and sneakers. And one of the guys is like, bro, you can't wear that on stage, man. And he's like, well, this is who I am, man. This is who I got me here. And these guys, like this group, just heckled him. Like, who are you? And how did you even get here? Right. And they're just beating up on him. He's like, let's just go out and do our talks, shall we? So they end up going out there, and he goes out and does his talk, and he wins first place, nationals. Okay, National Toastmasters competition. He hasn't been doing Toastmasters hardly at all. No formal speaking training ever. Okay, so once you win nationals, then you go to the worldwide Toastmasters competition, and you compete for the ultimate worldwide Toastmasters champion. So that was in Vancouver, Canada. He had to do that I think it's been maybe a year and a half ago is when he went to this. And I remember talking to him when this was going on, and he was up against I think there was like an amputee from Japan. And there's like all these people that have like amazing stories from all over the world come to this national competition. And he goes and he wins first place national. So he's got this huge Toastmasters world champion trophy and everything. And, that's a brief summary of Greg Walker that hardly touches who he is as a person and what he can train. But I was thinking about myself, and as I'm planning these retreats for myself, I'm thinking I really want to bring someone in as a special guest to our group that can really be a huge benefit to our group. And not only just give good information, but give practical, timely information, because majority of my clients, we've built brands, we have websites, there's all these things that are being established, and a lot of my crew are looking to go to the next level. And there's a lot of things that I think majority of you want to get good at is speaking and learning how you can get paid to be a public speaker, because that's a very lucrative business if you can get yourself into it. And everybody has a story. So learning how to become a speaker is super valuable. And then learning how to actually get a book published, not just through Amazon self-publishing, but actually get a book on the shelf. And I'm like, when I think of those two things, Greg Walker is the name that comes to me. So I called and talked to Greg last week for 2 hours and talked to him about these retreats that we do, and asked him if he would be interested in coming and taking part in, because 2 years ago, I think that was about a year and a half ago, after he won the national competition for Toastmasters, Greg created his own curriculum called the Impact Speakers Academy, and he teaches upcoming speakers how to become booked and paid to speak. And he covers everything from how to create your signature talk, how to find speaking gigs that you can get booked for, how to negotiate your fees, how to write contracts, how to negotiate travel and expenses, how to, upsell the audience when you're there. I mean, all these things that he's mastered, he teaches those in an academy. So I'm like, I would love to have Greg come and teach his Impact Speakers Academy material at one of my retreats. And so I talked to him last week, and he's agreed to come to our next retreat. So what I told him I want him to do is he's going to spend at least one full day just focusing on speaking and teaching basically his Impact Speakers Academy material to anybody who wants to become a speaker. And he's going to teach people how to basically get started in the speaking industry. And then he's going to spend an entirely second day minimum. I got to figure out the schedule of this. But he's going to spend the second day teaching everything book publishing, basically everything you need to know to actually publish a book, what that process looks like, how to get invited into Barnes and Noble and do, book signings at Barnes and Noble, how to get paid to do book signings. He's going to teach everything from that regard. So I'm super excited about this. So this is what I'm planning this fall retreat, and Greg's going to be there for the special guest. So what I want your guys' thoughts and feedback on is location. So I've got my eyes on a house, and I've got a bid in for a house that I might be able to rent, but it happens to be in the Virgin Islands. And this place is incredible, and I'll show it to you. You guys can check it out if you guys want to go to sanddollar estate.com. This is the place that I've got my name in for and could possibly rent. So from a very high level, this is what I'm planning. This would be in November. The dates that I'm shooting for are November 6th through November 13th, and this would be 7 days in this house. And basically what this house has is this house has 7 private suites. Every one of them is a king suite. And so everyone would have their own private suite, and Greg and his wife would be staying with us in the house for the entire week, all 7 days. So while he would get a couple specific days to focus on public speaking and then another specific day to focus on book writing, the rest of the week he's going to stay with us in the house and participate in all of our mastermind conversations. So it's going to be a tremendous value add to have him there and contributing to all the conversations that we have within those streets. So that location is one idea. So from a pricing perspective, if we were to go to a house like that, it'd be about $7,000 per person. If you were an individual or a couple, married couple, if you were going to do sharing a room, like if you're going to share a room with a pair, it would drop to $4,000 per person, but you'd have to share a room with someone else that was being mastermind. So that's if we went to a place like that. So the question that I have for you guys is it worth it to you to go to a destination like that, like the Virgin Islands, and have it be an experience? Because I look at it as, I've had a lot of dialogue with a lot of people. We talked about these masterminds. The value in the mastermind, the price point of these masterminds is really what is accomplished in the mastermind. The location is a perk, but the location adds cost to it. But it's what happens at the mastermind is why you want to be there. It's because it's just so tremendously valuable and impactful to have that environment with the group, have that feedback. And it's also I designed these masterminds to eliminate every excuse that you got. You don't have kids distracting you. You don't have a schedule distracting you. We booked the week very, very strategically to really maximize everyone's time, and the amount of work and breakthrough that you're able to accomplish in that week is tremendously impactful. So that's really what you're paying for. But what I'm trying to determine is it worth it to go to some place like the Virgin Islands and have an amazing experience like that? Or would you guys rather do something stateside where I can choose a location that's a little more central to where we're at? You're not going to have as much travel expense, and it's somewhere not quite as luxurious. We did Phoenix in early the spring and it was awesome. But just to give you an example, I would have to pay roughly about $25,000 to rent that house in the Virgin Islands. I could rent a house locally for probably 10. So it would drop the price significantly to go more local if you were interested in doing more local. So thoughts on that? Any feedback on that? What are you guys' thoughts on these masterminds? Go ahead, Kat.
So I may be the only one that feels this way, but if I'm going to spend that kind of money to go to the Virgin Islands, I don't want to spend a week in meetings and learn, working.
Gotcha. Okay. That's good feedback. Okay. Anybody else? Maddie and Bob are thinking local as well. Anybody else? Thoughts on it? Tammy?
I already privately told you what I feel, and that is similar to what Kat says. Is I loved the last mastermind. I learned so much. It was literally a pole shifter for me, and so I'm not concerned at all about what's going on around me because I'm there to concentrate on you. Gotcha. and me. Great. That being said, I did feel like that hotel could have definitely been improved. So. Yeah. I'm between Kat and where you are.
Gotcha. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Jamie, I see Jamie's comment in the chat. Jamie came to Phoenix, and we packed a lot into 5 days. So there wasn't a lot of time for sightseeing. So that's what I wanted to know. I've had a few people reaching out to me over the past couple months after seeing Phoenix and not able to come to Phoenix, being like, where are you going to be taking us, the next trip? And I'm like, I don't know. Do we want to go somewhere that's extreme? Cause I got one particular couple that's like, well, Justin, one particular couple of mine is like, Justin, we're definitely coming to your next retreat, whatever it is. And they're like, but it's been forever since we've taken a vacation as a couple. So coming to these mastermind retreats gives us a push to come because we know we're going to get so much value out of it. And then when you go to something like that, you can write off the entire thing as a business expense. So that's been the push for me to look at destinations. But I'm like, I just want everybody's feedback to know whether that's really worth it to you or whether you'd rather just go somewhere local. So if we're going to do this mastermind then in the fall, we can do this anywhere from September to November. And destinations could be just about anywhere. Now, this house that I'm renting in northern Michigan is spectacular. And it's way plenty of room to house everybody. Is that something, would you rather just come to Michigan? Does anybody have a preference? Would you rather be in my local area? Is there an area of the country that you'd rather see? Like I was thinking somewhere warm, go to get us to the beach, but I could even find a place on the shoreline somewhere, Texas or wherever. Celia?
I think there are so many beautiful places in the United States, and warmth is great. I mean, there's Florida. I kind of think if it's in November, it's nice to go somewhere warm.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's just my preference.
Yeah, that's kind of where
but there are a lot of beautiful places in the United States.
I know.
Like the Grand Canyon. There's, where you could do a tour of that. There's
and thank you for bringing that up.
I know Maddie and Bob go to New Mexico all the time, and there's beautiful places there. And
so that's the next question, because I'm trying to find this line of destination versus cost. Right?
And Baltimore, we can eat crabs.
Right.
Just kidding.
So I'm trying to find this line between destination. I think probably if we're going to go in the fall, everybody probably wants to go somewhere warm, I imagine. But there are so many beautiful places in the country. But so then if I put together a mastermind that's going to go 5 days or 6 days, however long I do it, would you prefer to have a day or specific time designated just to sightsee and just hang out together and not have it be all business? Or would you rather have it get as much out of Justin as possible while I'm in that space? Thoughts on that?
I think it'd be nice to have a day where we're like schmoozing around and we still get a lot out of it. I mean, even social, conversation.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice wherever we go to have a day where we can,
Yeah. And before I get you, Tammy, just real quick. So just to give you an idea. So those guys that were at the retreat last year in Tennessee, we did 3 days, right? You came in on Friday. We did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That was it. It was fast. So we packed a lot into that short amount of time. When we went to Phoenix, it was 5 days. It went from Wednesday to Sunday. And we even still in that, we packed it in. So the next retreat that I do, the one we're planning for the spring, it's 5 days. So we come in on Monday, and we have Monday all the way through Friday. And one of those days was going to be designated, maybe not the whole day, but at least a portion of the day, to just getting out of the house, going seeing some sights, maybe going to Mackinac Island and seeing some stuff around Michigan. So it's not so packed. And Jamie, I see your comment. Jamie said I'd rather have it a lot like Phoenix. I think our format for the way we did our Phoenix retreat was spectacular. It was super impactful, and we got a ton accomplished. But I also think, if we're going to bring the group together, I also just want to spend some time with the group. We did a bit of that in Tennessee. We went out to dinner and did some fun stuff. But I think there's a lot of power in that too, because honestly, even when we go out together, a lot of really great conversation happens in those moments as well. Tammy, you want to chime in on that?
About 20 years ago, I was honored to be show director for a really large international convention. And the way that we did it, because we brought people from all over the country, and often these were moms that this was the only time they ever got away from their family. And then there was ones who had to travel internationally, which was very expensive. And what always worked really, really well was we packed as much as we could in 4 or 5 days. And then we specifically planned loose time before and after the convention, so
That's
that
cool.
when you're there, you're concentrating on it. But if you want to come in a day early, we're going to be doing this. If you want to stay a day later, we're going to be doing this.
Mhm.
And that way people can have the best, I think, of both worlds.
That's good. I like that. That's great feedback, Tammy. I love that. Okay. Well, exactly what you said, Celia. I mean, there's so many places in this country that are just spectacular. So I'm gonna brainstorm some fun ideas, keep us in the States, keep the cost as low as possible. And then as I put more of those details together, I will roll that out to you. As far as dates are concerned, September versus October versus November. It'd be early November, so you don't get into the holidays. Does anybody have a preference on those time frames? Does it matter?
I would say for me that later is better, because school starting and getting kids established is a really prime time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, good call. Okay, well, I'll roll more of those details out to you guys as I get them, and I'll continue to get your feedback on it, because I really want to put together what you guys want. That's my mission for that. The other thing that's on my mind that I want to bounce off you is next year in the summertime, I am considering doing some mini masterminds at my house, which would be super fun. These would have to be small, so I'm thinking like 4 to 6 people max, and it would be a weekend, almost kind of like a weekend, like a VIP weekend kind of thing. And I couldn't have you stay at my house. I'd put you up somewhere locally, but we would do like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and do like a weekend mastermind thing. And I'm going to do it at least once, if not twice, depending on just how I can work the schedule. Cause we're doing a spring mastermind in May, and then a fall mastermind potentially in September, October. So I'm gonna kind of Celia says, forget it, I want to sleep over. I think my kids would just be bothered if their rooms all got bombarded with a bunch of my clients. So I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that. But I got plenty of room to do some really cool stuff in the house, and just have some really awesome mastermind time together. Plus, it'd just be super fun to have you guys at my house and take you around. We can show you all our favorite sites. So if we do that, it would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal. It'd be, Friday, we'd come in, and we'd probably kick it off Friday morning. I'd like to give you a good solid 3 days. We could take you some of our favorite restaurants. Saturday, we would take you to the lake and show you Lake Michigan, where our favorite places are on the lake. And just let you hang out at my house and in my area. So I think that would be super cool. I'm going to keep the price low on that one, real low. It's probably going to be a matter of $300-500, something like that per person, to be here for one of those weekends. So as soon as I sort out the details on that, and more importantly, get the approval from my wife for that, because she doesn't know I'm thinking about that yet, but she loves you all as much as I do. So she needs time to process. I'm more of I got an idea, let's go tell everybody. She's what's your idea? And let me think about that. So I need to, no, it'll definitely be summer. This is going to be summertime, Keith. This is going to be, if we were to do this, this is probably going to be sometime in the vicinity, I would imagine, June to August, somewhere in there. And I'm going to do at least one, if not a couple. And that will only be open to you guys. That's not going to be open to anybody else. This is VIP Inner Circle peeps only, because that's a protected environment. I need to just make sure it's just, because you can only really get the power out of that if the group is the right group. So I think that'd be bomb, and that'd be super fun. So just FYI on that one, as soon as I get those details rolled out, I will get you the scoop on that too, so you guys know what you're doing with that. Last quick announcement is this Saturday is our next masterclass. We're going to be doing a topic called core motivation. And this is a powerful process. This is a similar process to what I took you guys through in Nashville last year, where we're going to go through that. And I've had people do that several times. I do it every about 6 months for myself, because it's just good, solid core process to really figure out what's going on in your world right now. So highly encourage you guys to join that. That'll be Saturday morning, and it'll be 9 Eastern time, 8 Central. That would be 6 Pacific. We'll be doing that. We'll probably be on Zoom for at least 90 minutes, because it's a good, powerful thought thought-provoking process and try to come to that Zoom open-minded and undistracted, because it really does need your undivided attention, and it's hard
So
to
that's
get
the
through it.
26th?
That is the 26th. Yes, ma'am. This coming Saturday morning. Yep. So that'll be about 90 minutes. Again, open-minded, undistracted, lots of coffee, ready to focus, because those guys that have done that with me, it's a powerful process, but it's a thought-provoking one, and it really does need your undivided attention. So yeah, so that's it for my announcements. Wanted to bounce all that off you today. Excellent feedback on the mastermind stuff, so I'll narrow my plans for those based upon what you guys have got. Any questions for me on any of that, or anything you just want to chime in on it? Nope. I see a couple of the messages in the text that a few of you guys have sent me, so I got those, and I'll get back to you guys. So we're going to dive right straight into open office. So again, open office is usually, this is just a time where I just hang out with you for as long as is necessary. And anybody who has questions that you want to bounce off me or bounce off the group, you just do so, and we just hang out and talk. So Tammy, hands up. You get to go, buddy.
I have something that is so exciting. We had our corporate convention this weekend, and we had 4 keynote speakers, and one of them was John Maxwell, the incomparable John Maxwell. But you know, he's always got so many great nuggets. But I wanted to share this with you because I hope that this would help you guys as much as it helped me. And that was, he said that when you work, you must work consistently. You know, you talk about being consistent, and every motivational speaker talks about consistency. He said, but the work is not wasted. Even if you're not seeing success, even if you don't feel like you're moving forward, the work is not wasted, it's stored. He said, we confuse success with the recognition of success. So let me expound on that just for a second. When I'm working and doing my daily method of operation every single morning, and I'm hammering at it, but I'm not seeing the success that I think I should be seeing in my head, I think I'm not being successful. And then one day, you know, I have a super big success, or I meet the rank, or I have achieved the goal, and I think, aha, success. I am now a success. John Maxwell said, I was always a success. It was that I was recognized. Success showed up in this day. Mm-hmm. And I think this is why it meant so much to me. When I achieved my rank last October, you and I have talked about this a lot, Justin. When I achieved my rank, that I was my hugest goal in October, I woke up the next morning going, why don't I feel different? And the reason why is because my game plan didn't change. Yeah. I still needed to do the same things every single day. So what I wanted to present to you guys is that we are all successful on everything that we do, but if we only wait for the recognition of that success, mm-hmm. then we're discounting our daily consistent work.
Yep. And the quickest way to shut off the success is to stop being consistent.
Oh yeah, he says,
as soon as you stop progressing, it's when it stops.
Early. He said, if you're going to quit early. Don't hammer at it for months and years and then quit, because he said all of that is being stored up and you're wasting all of that time. And this is perfect, because I tell people all the time when they say, well, CBD oil worked for me. And I said, here's the thing. I took it consistently every single day, believing in it every single day for not 1 month, not 2 months, but 3 months. If I had stopped at 2 months, where would I be? Because at 3 months, it literally rocked my world. Mm-hmm. And so I think if I apply that same thing to my business, I'm not giving up. I'm keep hammering away at it, because I am a success every day that I get up and do the work. Every day that I wake up and do it, I'm a success. But I'm not going to be waiting around for the recognition of success to show up.
Yep. Super good. I love it, Tammy. Thank you, buddy. Let me just go around the room. Maddie and Bob, anything you want to bounce off me or bounce off the group this morning? You have to unmute yourself, buddy. Or I can unmute you. Maybe. There you go. No? Ask to unmute. There you go.
All right. I unmuted. No, actually, I like what Tammy said a lot. This is all really good. And just to echo Tammy, you know, I have the same experience with the health problems that I'm dealing with, that it took a great deal of discipline and stick-to-itiveness on the eating plan and the supplements and everything. And it took, same as Tammy, it took 3 months before the results were starting to show, and then another 2 months after that before I'm now getting back to normal, to like to where, I mean, I still have little issues here and there, but it is, I think that in a weird way, sometimes when you keep going through all the pain, you know, whether that pain's emotional or it's physical, that keep going, that determination is what gives you the confidence to keep going in other things. Right, Tammy? I think that's pretty much the lesson of dis-ease, you know, has to do with that idea that you just keep going, and it does require discipline. And I certainly learned that I wasn't exactly the most disciplined person before this. Ask Bob, he'll tell you.
Yeah, Celia's over here championing for you too. Yeah. All right, Maddie, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. Amanda, anything we can help you with this morning, girl? You hanging?
I think I'm just hanging. I'm good right now.
You're good, buddy. All right. Celia, how about you? Go.
So I want to chime in on that too. And when I talk to, you guys know I've been dealing with health issues myself, and I had to talk. I didn't have to. I enjoyed talking to Justin on our weekly call while my husband was in the hospital. So when was that? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, you were in a mind funk.
And I've been in a mind funk, and a lot of it's been, I feel guilty because it's been 7 weeks from my heart attack, and I can't do as much as I was able to do prior to my heart attack, and I feel guilty because I feel like I'm not serving my people, you know, the way I need to be serving my people. So, and I had this wonderful talk with Justin, and he was like, I had to give myself grace, and every morning, you know, do a few things, take a few hours and take a break. And so that's what I've really been trying to do. I've really been trying to just do a little bit every day and be like, yay, I got that done. And eventually it's getting done, you know, and it is
two main things for Celia was that she was putting an enormous amount of expectation on herself because she's got all these things. She had all these balls in the air before she had her heart attack. And then she felt like she was supposed to be maintaining all these things. And then the second was she was just trying to, being out for such a period of time, then you felt like you had to catch up. And so, you know, this really goes to everybody, but specifically what I said to Celia is the only one that's putting all that pressure on you is you. And like nobody else expects you to come dive right straight back in and be 100% back to that. Everybody's super understanding of what you went through, and so all that pressure was just being manifested by yourself. And then so that's the first thing, and you resolved that, I think, very, very well, and realized that was something you're dealing with. And then along with that, you don't feel like when you're if you're beating your head against the wall and you're struggling to progress forward at all, the last thing you want to do is try to do all the things. So, and this is really for everybody, if you ever get to that point where you're in a stuck place, you just shrink your change. Whatever it is that you're trying to change, make it smaller. Give yourself smaller steps to digest, because that's how you make momentum. You build momentum by accomplishing small things. Then if you set huge, massive goals that you know you're probably not going to be able to accomplish each day, then every day, even if you do get a lot accomplished, at the end of the day, you're like, I didn't get everything done on my list. Or when am I ever going to get this whole thing done? But if you shrink that list down and say, you know what, I am going to get this, this, and this done, and that's it. And then maybe I'll get more done depending on how motivated I am. But if I can get this all stuff done, you might get that done by noon. And then I told Celia, I said, girl, give yourself like 2 things a day. And you know what? Work 2 hours a day and accomplish that. And then go lay down and take a friggin' nap. I think you've earned it. And, you know, and that just, you just got to take that pressure off yourself. And it seems like it is, because your spirit's way up from where it was.
Way
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I
the funny
think
thing is
this past
too,
week, the first week I felt like normal for
Yeah.
the most part.
but the other thing that's funny too about you is I think after that conversation, your productivity went way up too. You started getting a lot done. But
Yeah, I did.
And I think you got more done then than you were before, because before you were all up in your head and you couldn't get anything done.
Yeah, and you know me, if I get overwhelmed, I leave.
No, oh no, Celia's overwhelmed. I gotta call her. Maggie, yes, I see you. All right, Tammy, are you good? You're good. All right, Jackie, anything you want to bounce off the group? You need to unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. I have been trying to start an online store for about 3 years now. And I'm always meeting up with blocks. But I never give up. I get back up and I push on.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one block that I've been trying to overcome, and that is the payment agency. I told you about it, Justin, that the PayPal doesn't, with Jamaica, it doesn't hook up to your bank account. You have to get a check, and you have to wait a month to get this check, and I think 2 weeks to make up the check and 1 month to get it in the mail. So that is 6 weeks. Can't run a business like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I am especially interested in this Teespring store that Justin introduced us to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is another payment agency called Payoneer.
Okay. Have you heard of that, Tammy?
So I wanted to find out if anyone had any experience with that.
Go
with
for it,
Payoneer.
Tammy.
Jackie, what I can tell you is that our corporation is now global, and Payoneer is the only one that is international friendly. So I would
Good.
absolutely check
Perfect.
into
That's what she
Payoneer.
needs, because that's what PayPal's been such a challenge, because she lives in
Yeah,
Jamaica.
PayPal's not gonna, and they're never going to get better. They're
Yep.
okay with where they're at, but Payoneer will open up some things for you for sure. I have I have an affiliate in Uganda, and Payoneer worked for them.
That's awesome. Is that helpful, Jackie?
Okay. Right. So I can get some help from you, Justin, in terms of the Teespring.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely. Yep. Just tell me what you need, buddy. I got you.
all right. That's
Good
it for
stuff.
today.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Maggie Graham, good morning to you. I know it's early. What's going on? I know what's going on with you. Tell me what we can talk to you about this morning.
Let's see. I was just wanting to expand, now that I finished up that project, but it's never going to be finished because it's really the foundation. So I guess dealing with Teachable, like is the next thing, if I'm going to create an academy out of what I've done, Teachable, or is it something that can be done on the website? Like, remember how we're doing the website for the other
Yep.
program?
I think Teachable is going to be good for you based upon what you're wanting to do and the way we're going to want to set up a lot of automation with that, and we can look at it together. Now, I've used I love how user friendly Teachable is. Teachable is awesome, and I know there's a few of you in here that have done courses. Anybody else want to give thoughts or feedback on other course platforms that you've used that you might recommend over Teachable? Anybody thoughts
I
on
know
that?
courses can be done on ClickFunnels. So
Yep,
if you
they can.
already have a ClickFunnels account and you're paying for that, which I don't have mine set up on there yet, but
Yep.
I think about setting it up on there.
Yeah, Maggie doesn't have ClickFunnels
Right.
yet. We were talking about interjecting
okay.
funnels. Funnels is a little bit,
'Cause then-
ClickFunnels is a little bit more expensive, but
it
it's
has a
awesome
lot to
technology.
do with it. Right. There's a lot in it. Like
Interesting.
now I have my email with ClickFunnels.
Now, Jamie's working with a new technology called New Zenler, which is brand new that she's been working on and building on. So you may connect with Jamie, Maggie, and just get some thoughts on the course element of it and just see what that looks like. Jamie, do you have experience with Teachable where you could compare the two?
I've tried Teachable. I've actually tried several different things, and I didn't like it. I didn't
Okay.
like the way that it was set up.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really care for how it was set up. I didn't
Okay.
think it was very user friendly
Okay.
on my end.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah. And from what I've seen with what Jamie's built, I mean, it looks really, really good. I haven't worked into the back office of it, but that might be one that you may want to check out, Maggie. But I think to answer your question, I think for the functionality that we're going to want, and because this is your signature program, we're going to want to be able to leverage the resources that those course platforms are going to be able to give you.
Yeah, okay. Because I know I'm going to want, I think visually I probably resonate with so far the way Teachable has modules and then a video and then it has PDFs that go with it.
Yep,
They just
I like it. Yep.
stack.
Yep.
So Maggie, I'll show you New Zenler because it's similar. It even has like, if you wanted to do something live, it has like a built-in live platform like Zoom in it. It's got all kinds of stuff. It's got like its own feed, like even like Facebook. It's got a whole bunch of different things that are like built into the site, and I paid like $400 for a year.
Okay.
And you can have up to three websites or three sites on it, and unlimited courses.
Three. Interesting. I would love to see that, Amy.
Yeah.
That would be really. So yeah, thank you. That'd be.
All right, Maggie, anything else, buddy?
I don't think so. I'm still in like now. I have lots of PDFs. I'm gonna make that PDF kit. I have like a vision for that, so we'll talk about that later.
Right
that
on.
needs to be happening in the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Kat Gartung, you want to bounce anything off the group, buddy?
I am not sure. Tammy, what you said from John Maxwell, that was great. As well as Celia, I needed that. The little bits at a time.
Yep.
That's what I'm working for, because Justin knows I've been through a lot lately. And trying to pull it back out. So
you got it, buddy. You got it. Yep. And you got it. We got you. All right.
Thank you.
Heather Jessup, girl, good morning to you. Anything we can help you with this morning?
I am currently struggling with being motivated to promote my business because I can't stand social media right now.
Yeah. Well, motivation is a fantastic topic, which is why we're talking about that on Saturday. So I'll be interested to see what comes out of it for you on Saturday, Heather. I think that'll help you a lot. And
I don't know if we're going to be home that weekend.
Oh, well,
we have been spending a lot of time out in the middle of nowhere, away from everybody and out of cell service.
With that Saturday masterclass is for everybody as well. With that Saturday masterclass, this is something you'll be able to do on your own. If you can't join live, you'll be able to do it through the replay as well, so Heather. So if you can't join us live, you'll be able to watch that and do it yourself, and then you can just give me your results afterwards, and I'll work you through it.
Okay.
But yeah, so for you, we need to kind of find a combination of things. We need to dig into your motivation, but then we also need to brainstorm some creative ideas on where to get you out there, because social media sucks right now. Amanda?
Yeah.
I just had a suggestion with social media. There's two things that I've found personally that have been really helpful, because social media really sucks right now. With Facebook particularly, you can snooze people for like 30 days and not have to see their stuff, but not be unfriending them or even like permanently not following them, but you can snooze them. And so I've legit done this to like a ton of people that like, if it comes across my feed and I'm just finding that this particular person is just really bugging me because of whatever, I'll just snooze them so that I don't have to see what they're posting. And then, so I've been able to curate my feed so that I'm only seeing positive stuff, because I have a mix of people who have variety of views. And so I've curated it so I only see positive. So that can be really helpful, especially as we're in this season right now. So like just kind of snooze people that just you want to start discussions with, or that are just bugging you. And the other thing too of like, if you just like not being on social media as much, like not scrolling, but just knowing like, okay, I'm getting on for 10 minutes to write this post. And you don't even have to write the post on the, Facebook or whatever. You could just write it in a note, copy it, paste it, put the photo with it, and then log out. and then just check back once or twice in the day to like respond to comments and like not look at anything else. There's that's another, I don't know, just practical
Yeah, I think
suggestions.
with you too, Heather, I think a part of your motivation is, where do I get my business information out there? How do I attract leads? And that's why I'm all about YouTube right now. That's why everybody's all about YouTube right now. YouTube takes some time. But for what I would encourage you to be thinking about, even when you're taking your time away from social media and you're getting off and unplugged, be thinking about types of videos that you can create for YouTube, because YouTube is it's like, even last week, last week I've got so much on my plate right now. I took the whole week off. I did one video last week, and I took the entire week off of creating content. In the last 6 days that I didn't post any content, I've got over 7,000 new views, 250 plus new subscribers. My videos are just out there working for me while I'm working on the things that need to be worked on. So that's what I love about YouTube. So there's a lot of ways, a lot of different angles we can come at this one, Heather, but I'll help you with it, because I know exactly what it feels like. And because I think probably majority of us feel the same way. It's like, really sick of Facebook, really sick of social media. I'm not going to Facebook hardly at all, unless it's posting things about my family, or, here and there, just giving everybody some updates here and there, but I'm not scrolling or swiping or looking around on Facebook at all. So
I don't get on social media hardly at all. And even after we get home from our trips away, like, I leave my phone on airplane mode for at least another day, because I don't want any of the, even like text messages, no emails, don't want any of it. But then I'm finding, even on YouTube, like, just getting on YouTube because I do my yoga through that, like, just the amount of noise when you first open it up with all the suggestions, I'm like, this hurts my head.
Yep. We gotta, well, you and I will talk, buddy. We gotta work through some stuff in your brain a little bit.
Right.
All right, Heather, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. Jamie Kirshner, anything we can work with you on this morning, girl? You just hanging out?
Well, there's one thing.
Okay.
I'm thinking about kind of pushing pause on my transformed home right now.
Okay.
It has not been active in there. I've actually not heard anything from anybody. And not only that, but Ken may have broke his ankle. We'll find out today when he gets his x-ray.
Oh, no.
And so he hasn't been able to do much. And I just think that right now we need to focus on, we've got a couple things going on. We need to focus on my courses for the team programs.
Yep.
And then we're also in the process of getting ready to purchase a house with land so that we can start our dream. So
awesome.
So we're thinking we might need to push pause on that. So I was just wanting to get some ideas on how to do that, because I had one member that she actually bought the year subscription, and everybody else is monthly. So she did get a discount for paying for a year. So I'm not sure how to do that. Like, to give her money back.
Okay.
Because I did give like 3 months of really good content. So, I mean, there was some.
Well, but is she interacting with you at all?
Nobody is.
Nobody's interacting with you. Well, I guess it depends on how you want to handle it. Like, if you, like, I mean, you could, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could just, the simplest mathematical ways, you could just be like, you know what, Ken's broke his ankle. We're not going to be able to, roll on with my transform home plans the way we were hoping to for over the next several months. So if you'd like, we can refund you for the last 9 months. You just take whatever price she paid, divide it by 12, and then, pull out the 3 months that she paid and give her rest back. That's one way that you could do it. Or if you wanted to actually work with her and interact with her personally, you could say, you know what, we're not going to be able to do this the way I thought, but over the next 9 months, since you've invested in a year, I'd love to just interact with you, and I can give you some ideas over each month, and you could just kind of turn it into maybe a one-on-one thing. You don't want to invest a ton of time into it, but it's something where each season you could just kind of coach her a little bit, help her with each room, give her some ideas, and just kind of have a custom approach just to working with her individually. But that just depends on how much time you want to invest in it.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that idea better, because I think for her, it shows her that it actually seems like almost a better deal.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how. I mean, if it was me, if I
mean, it
knew
could be
I could invest the
specific.
time, I'd be like, you know what, Jamie, I'm so sorry. Ken broke his ankle, and so we're not going to be able to roll out this thing the way we were hoping to. But I would still love to work with you in your home, and we so appreciate your investment. So if you'd like, let's just do this on a month-by-month basis. We can focus on a specific area of your house. I'll give you some ideas. You can send me the things you're working on. And you can just interact with her one-on-one, and I think she'd find that awesome.
Yeah, and it's only one person, so it's not like
It's easy.
yeah.
It
it's not
doesn't
gonna
mean
be a
that you
lot.
got to get on hour-long Zooms with her or anything. You just talk to her. And if you do that, if you do it well, you'll have a spectacular testimonial by the time that whole thing's over. And then you can leverage that as a referral when you reopen again.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, that's an idea. All right. Anything else, Jamie?
I think that's it.
All right. Maggie Kavanaugh, good morning to you. Anything we can help you with this morning, my friend?
Yes, absolutely. I would love for you guys to pray for me.
You got it.
I am recruiting prayers. Celia, thank you for, those encouraging words that you made, because that has been my whole year. Because most of you know, I had COVID back in March. I bounced back pretty good. Things were going good. And then I got hit again really hard with 3 different opinions of doctors of what's going on. They're calling it what's called long COVID, where the symptoms have various adverse effects, which I don't receive any of that. I've been working diligently with my holistic doctor, but I'm on like 7 natural tinctures and a boatload of supplements. And but the hard part for me is that I've always been able to keep going. And thank God for Tammy, because Tammy has carried the torch. Tammy, I don't know if you're still on here, but thank you very much for carrying the torch with the biz, because I've been struggling cognitively. And as you know, when you're producing material and you're, creating and all that, that's where the struggle is. I've dealt with chronic issues. I'm a cancer survivor. I've got a boatload of all kinds of diagnoses. Nothing has ever stopped me, but this cognitive thing is causing me a lot of issues. So with that
Is that
being
what's
said,
going on with your eye? It's your eye. That's the eye. That's the problem. Is that right?
well, I
More than
thought it
that.
was the eye. I thought it was the eye. So they sent me to an ophthalmologist because there's extreme shooting of pain at the right side of my face near my eye. So I thought it was in my eye down the lower part. They're calling it, I can't remember, is some neurological thing, which affects the nerves in your body, similar to MS, where like the myelin sheath is damaged, and so then it doesn't fire right. And that optical nerve has 3 endings that goes to your jaw, your cheek, and your eye. So it fires from your brain, and so it's misfiring several times a day. So.
Wow.
I do not receive that. I am standing on my healing, but I have never had to go, okay, now I turn this on and then I do this, So I'm getting ready to take a sabbatical to get some healing, because I know I'm on the breakthrough here, It's just wearing down on me. And, and because of COVID, the ministry work has been intense. I mean, I wake up every day with, at least 5 to 10 messages a day of people in crisis with their marriage, with their kids, with their beliefs,
draining,
everything. So, about 2 months, but about 6 weeks ago, when this started getting really, really bad, I started cutting off new people and referring them out, which I already was only taking previous clients to begin with. So it's really put a damper on things. We've got this amazing new product, new brand launch through the business. And then, of course, the ministry. So y'all just be praying for the massive breakthrough, because this neurological thing is, and I've dealt with what they call complex pain region, which is a neurological thing from a massive car accident years ago. I've dealt with nerve pain for 20 years, but hence that's how I got into CBD. I think that's how we all got into CBD. But anyway, I need prayer for a massive breakthrough, not just healing, but I mean to be able to regain what the locust has stolen from me, because this whole year's been like that. And Justin, because we've been trying to work on a few things, and it's frustrating, I mean, I'm doing stupid stuff. Like I turned on the water in the kitchen to do the dishes, turned around, got in the refrigerator, and then all of a sudden I'm in there on the computer and flooded the kitchen. Stupid stuff, It's just like, it makes me want to scream. And it's whenever when you're used to being a pretty highly productive person,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so I had a broadcast scheduled that I rescheduled because my husband's family reunion, I wanted to be with them. I felt very led to be with them. I literally covered me being an MC for the Recovery Fest. I got a replacement. I'm like, I'm not getting on the stage. I'm not doing nothing, you know, because we had to change it to virtual and then on the ground drive through all of that stuff. Crazy. Anyway, I said all that to say this. I went to Indianapolis with my husband to see family, thinking that this would be a good rest. And I had a broadcast with this woman, Dana Dimitri. She's got 55,000 YouTube subscribers. You know, she's got like a book that's in Target, Walmart, everywhere. Eat, Live, Thrive diet. You know, amazing woman I got out west that I met by happenstance. But long story short, I rescheduled her broadcast to the 18th. Well, I rescheduled it in Messenger, but I didn't put it on my calendar, and I almost missed a broadcast with somebody that had 55,000 subscribers.
Oh no.
Praise God, you know, she messaged me and it triggered me, but you know, I'm like, I need prayer, you guys. I really need prayer. So I can't,
You got it, buddy.
I need peace. So thanks.
All right. Absolutely, Maggie. Thank you. Nigel, last one, buddy. Anything you need to bounce off the group this morning? And good morning to you. If we're here.
Okay, had it.
I hear you. Anything you need to bounce off us this morning? Or are you just hanging out?
Yes, it's really close time for me to finish school, and so I need prayers that I can retain and obtain the knowledge that I'm learning to pass the state exam to get my license.
Gotcha. So she's finishing her school. She's been in for almost a year and fast approaching wrapping up the massage school. And so we're nearing the end, final testing, remembering all the things, getting through all the stress. So just prayers for wrapping that up and getting to be a licensed massage. Those guys remember in September, she got hit with this vision in Tennessee last year, and she's been doing it for a year. So she's approaching the finish line on that one. That's awesome, Nigel.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be praying for you, buddy.
Thank you.
Anybody else need anything else? Y'all are good. All right, so next week Monday, just FYI, y'all, and I'm going to leave you with this. Next week Monday, I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to fly down to Texas and go to Larissa's funeral for Bill. Those guys that know Larissa and know the journey she's been on with Bill, it's really something else. But one of the things I want just you to encourage you with is don't underestimate online connections, because I mean, some of my best friends in the world are my people. And I mean, some of these people that I've met online are closer than most of my family. And Larissa and I have been together for a long time. I've been with her for every step of her journey, through growing up on live stream to growing a business to then having to now bury her husband. So I'm going to fly down to Texas and spend a couple of days. Courtney and I are going to go down there and spend a couple of days with her. And Bill's funeral is on Monday. And so I'm talking back and forth with her best friend, Paula, and Paula said she's super excited that we're coming down, and it looks like we might be able to go over to Larissa's house and just hang out with her alone for a couple hours on Monday morning. So if that's the case, I will not be here because I'm going to be in Texas spending some time with her. So just FYI on that. Probably don't plan on open office and game changers for next week Monday, because I'll be down there. And then if for some reason that falls through, then we'll be in a hotel room doing nothing, in which case then I probably will jump on. But let's plan on not, unless you hear from me otherwise. And I'm going to go spend some time with our sister down in Texas and give her some love as she gets through that season. So just FYI on that one, okay? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. Thanks for hanging out this morning. I'll post this recording as soon as it's done, and you guys have a sweet Monday. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.